Well, I reckon that's you at a guess. It's only my sort of theory. Morning.
Good morning. Sorry if I've got a bemused look on my face. I am trying to get live streaming on Facebook to work this morning, and it's just not having it.
Well,
So,
technicals. We all have technicals, don't we?
the joy of technicals. Let's see if we can get this one last time. If I can get it to work, and then hopefully I'll look less bemused.
No, that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Let's put you on. Okay, there we go. Super stuff. Well, look, you probably had a good week, and you're full of the joys of spring as normal. How you do it, I don't know. I reckon you must have a special charging system there. That's all I can think of. So anyway, what anything new you got to impart with us this week? How is life treating you and everybody else around you? Is it all up to standard?
Yeah, I mean, it's beautifully sunny outside, and life is up to standard. Life is always up to standard. What we've been up to, got back to a bit of dancing this week, which I haven't done in ages, so that was lovely. A bit of time for bringing out the feminine side, and didn't quite get as far as putting a dress on, but I might manage it one day.
Well, you can only do what you can do over a period of time. So this week, then, I should imagine you've probably seen many a client, and your success stories you've imparted to me seems to be growing. And does that give you an enormous sense of well-being, the fact that you've managed to help people, or is it more a case that you've seen them grow as individuals and change, and then that look on their face, that they're feeling well-being, is that more of a kickback than what you've given them, the fact that they have reciprocated?
I mean, it goes both ways. For me, it's about it gives you a special kind of joy to walk beside somebody and watch their own confidence in themselves grow. Yeah. Effectively, I can't do anything for anybody. I am not able to get anyone to do something. I don't tell anyone to do anything. Right. It's more about seeing them over time, understanding more and more that they are empowered to do it themselves, that they have the key to whatever success that they need somewhere hidden away. And it's about uncovering the layers that are sort of hiding that key and finding it. And it's really, there's not even a word. It's not rewarding. It's not satisfying. It's more than that. There's a pure joy in seeing people suddenly learning after years of not being able to break out of certain cycles and not understanding why. It's no one's fault. When we're in a cycle, the reason we can't get out of it is we can't see the outside. We're in a bubble of something that's keeping us trapped and not being able to understand why that bubble is there in the first place. The sense of well-being, to see people grow in confidence, walk beside them, hold their hand, and eventually get to the point where they are empowered to let go of your hand and keep going on their own. Yeah, that you can't put a price on.
Okay, all right. Well, I've just noticed on my screen that it looks like the Facebook thing has dropped off the system for whatever reason. Anyway, not to worry. So this week, you would like to talk about identity shifting in order to try and get healthy and lose weight. So tell us a bit about identity shifting.
Effectively, most people, when they're trying to lose weight or be healthy, focus on food and exercise. Yeah, that's your sort of go-to. I'm going to lose weight, therefore I'm going to go on a diet, change what I'm eating, or I'm going to do a new exercise regime, or both. But losing weight is about behavior change. It's about your behaviors surrounding food and exercise. So that's what I do. I'm, qualified PT, nutrition coach, but it's behavior change, and it's looking at how people interact with food and exercise. So why do they use it to hurt themselves, or why do they use it to help? And true behavior change is essentially identity change. So anyone can convince themselves temporarily to visit the gym or to eat healthily once or twice a week. You don't have to shift the belief behind the behavior. So it's hard to stick with long-term changes because you haven't shifted that belief. You've just convinced yourself on an off chance to do something. So it's not who you are. You are a different person trying to do this thing that isn't really within the remit of what you want to do. So improvements can only be temporary until they become part of who you are. So at that point, every action you take is a vote for the person that you want to become.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So if your identity is I am overweight, and that's what you say, so you go to people and you say, I am overweight, then every action you take is a vote for that person for being overweight. So whether you like it or not, your subconscious will take actions to maintain you in that overweight status. It's the same as trying to lose weight. So if you identify as someone who is trying to lose weight, every action you take is a vote to someone who's trying, not quite achieving, because trying is not the same as succeeding.
But you have to try in order to get that achievement. Do you not have to sort of make the attempt and before you can finally get the achievement?
No, you just do. You don't try. You just are. So I'll give you an example. Smokers. Okay. Yeah. You've got two people standing by a gate and another person comes along and offers the first person a cigarette.
Yeah.
The first person says, oh, no, thank you. I'm trying to quit. So they identify as a smoker who is trying to quit but hasn't succeeded. So they still identify as a smoker. Next person says, no, thank you. I'm not a smoker. Now, they were the day before, but they've decided they're not going to try to quit. They just are. Their identity now is that I am not a smoker. Therefore, all of the actions I'm going to take will be a vote for being a non-smoker. The other person, all of the actions they're going to take are going to be a vote for being a smoker, even though they're trying to quit. So it's not about trying. It's just about saying, right, I am now doing. This is who I am. I am not trying to lose weight. I simply am losing weight.
Ah, right. I see. So you go from trying to actually doing that and carrying that out. Oh, I see what. Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right, let's break for a little bit of music here now, and let's see. I think this one is probably the best one to play. Is you got to believe in yourself in order to continue. So let's do the Monkeys for you this morning. And I'm a believer. You're clearly a believer. So let's go with this. Record Radio playing you the Monkeys, and I'm a believer. But why are you believing in the right things? Well, let's see if that works out. We welcome Rita back this morning. So you are one of those people that in your mindset, you believe, therefore you can achieve. Would that be fair?
Effectively, yeah. So it's a belief that if you say something, choose to do something, believe that it will happen, you will manifest it. Yeah. So it's when I tried to lose weight myself and I was constantly trying, it might happen short term and then it would kind of do a cycle and I'd go back to the start with even more weight. And yeah, it wasn't a fun place to be. And then sounds silly, it works. I printed off a picture of what I would like to look like. I don't know who this woman was. She was gorgeous, but I cut her head off and stuck mine on it. And it was, you know.
How did you feel about that? You know.
Oh, well, I hope that she would feel flattered that I was using her image. But so I printed this picture off, put my head on it, stuck it on my mirror. So every day I saw it and I would say to myself, I am this person. I am this person. I'm not trying, I just am. And then everything that I did started to manifest towards this image that I wanted to create for myself.
Okay.
And it works. If you start to just tell yourself this is what you do, then everything you do is a vote for that. So, you know, I had a woman who, okay, as an example, got nothing to do with weight loss, but she was a client, and yes, we were trying to lose weight, but her biggest thing was that she really wanted to write a book and just never did. So she would sort of do the whole diet thing, but with writing, where on a Monday she would say, right, I'm going to write 3 chapters this week, and I'm going to get this book done within 6 months, and all of this malarkey. And she'd sort of go all in for about 6 weeks, and then it would be overwhelming. Job, life, kids would get in the way, and she'd stop and she'd be back to square one and never finish this book. So we simply said, right, instead of trying to write a book, think about people who have the outcome that you want. So think about a writer, you know, John Grisham, J.K. Rowling, whoever it might be. Think about a writer. Think about what they do to achieve that outcome of being a writer. She said, well, they write. I was like, yeah, fundamentally, they write. How often? She went, probably every day. I was like, cool. They write every day. She went, yeah, but I don't have time. You know, it's hours. And I was like, no, stop. We're not talking about chapters. We're not talking about pages. They write every day. Start with a sentence. That's it. Every day, write 1 sentence. I don't even care if it's about the book, anything, 1 sentence. So she started writing a sentence a day, and then it got built to a paragraph a day. And then over time, that got built to a page a day. And every day she just consistently wrote, not for a long period of time, might be 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 5, but she did. And she started to inhabit the life of someone who simply was a writer, not someone trying to write a book.
I see.
And as she continually just identified as a writer without trying to do anything, she made progress, consistent, small steps. She finished her book.
So the phrase whereby I use a great deal, sometimes less is more. That will come into play here. The fact that you don't, when you go to look at a book, there's a book, it's got, you know, several chapters and all stuff in it, and it's all book bound, and you think, well, how do you get to that? But of course, it's like everything else, isn't it? It's not a case of, it's like somebody who wants to produce a radio show. They don't just walk in off the street and start doing it without the learning somewhere how to use the microphone, how to use the fader. And I suppose you could liken that to any walk of life. And did you find the same yourself? Did you, when you first started out doing all the fitness and training and all this kind of stuff, did you find it that you would have this goal and become that person in order to make that final achievement? Is that how you've got to this stage now?
Yeah, it was all about small steps. I mean, you know, the first thing was obviously, you know, my education, my ability to build a business. Now, you know, anybody listening who has a job, who has built a business, who has done a degree, A levels, whatever it might be, you didn't expect to do it all in a day, did you? Didn't expect to suddenly be able to be an accountant or pass your exams or, you know, create an online shop, whatever it might be. It's not a day. It takes small, consistent steps. And the first thing I decided when I sort of went down this route was I'm not someone trying to lose weight. Actually, it was I am someone who is healthy. And I looked at the outcome of the kind of people who were healthy, you know, women who looked fit, not always about weight, but they looked fit, they looked healthy, they could run, they were flexible, they just exuded joyful, you know, aliveness.
Yeah.
And I looked at these kind of women and said, right, well, that's the outcome. I don't want to just lose weight. I want the outcome to be that I am healthy. Yeah. So that's who I then manifested, and every little step built. So it started with, okay, I don't drink enough water. That's all I focused on for about 4 weeks of my life, was just making sure I drank enough water. And then it was, okay, I don't eat enough vegetables. So I just focused on making sure that every meal had at least 2 bits of fruit or 2 bits of vegetable. And then I focused on what was the next thing I did was portion size. So I looked at, I probably don't need as much food as I'm piling on my plate. I was like, if I'm eating the same amount of my husband, there's something wrong, right? So I looked at my portion size and I just focused on these tiny bits because they were simply the actions of someone who was healthy. If I was trying to lose weight, I'd have probably done it all in one go, being exceptionally overwhelmed, and wouldn't be where I am today. So it's about looking at the kind of people who have your desired outcome. What would they do? And start to replicate it.
Okay, so that shifts your identity towards that. Fantastic. All right, a pleasure as always, Rita. Thank you very much indeed. Now you've chosen Joni Mitchell, Big Yellow Taxi. Can I ask why?
You can. I wish I had a profound reason. I love Joni Mitchell. She stirs something in me, but most of her songs are potentially not the most uplifting for a lovely Tuesday morning, but I think something about the idea of paradise this morning just appealed to me. But I've always been a fan of Joni Mitchell. My mother introduced me to her, and I think this is probably the most uplifting one that I could find.
Okay, fantastic. All right, listen, thank you. Speak to you next week. You have a great time, and we'll speak to you soon.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.